Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Robinson from the National Student Attendance, Engagement, and Success Center. Welcome to today's webinar, Building a Resource Map, providing mentors ongoing support as they serve as connectors. First of all, I would like to share some brief details about today's event. It will last for approximately 30 minutes, including time for questions. Presenting with me today will be Linda Moskowski, also from the National Student Attendance, Engage, and Success Center. Linda and I provide technical assistance for schools and districts implementing My Brother's Keeper Success Mentor Initiative. Today's webinar is one of number being offered by the Technical Assistance Center during 2017. The center is new. It is funded by the Department of Education, specifically the Office of Safe and Healthy Students. Our website is currently being developed, and we hope to have it up and running by early next month. The mission of our National Center is to disseminate evidence-based practices and build and facilitate communities of practice to help students attend every day, be engaged in school, and succeed academically so they graduate high school prepared for college, career, and civic life. There will be an opportunity to ask questions via the chat function. Please feel free to log your questions as the presenters are talking, and we will leave some time at the end to answer them. If we do not have enough time to get through all the questions, we will reply to all the participants by email within the next 5 to 7 days. We encourage you to ask questions or simply share a comment.
Our center hosts 2 nationwide communities of practice. The MBK Success Mentors Support Network, which focuses on chronic absenteeism and works with 30 cities across the country, and our SIG and SIG-eligible network, focusing on chronic absenteeism behavior and course performance, that is open to all states, districts, and schools that are SIG-eligible.
We would like to let you know about our virtual convening for ESSA that the center will be hosting for teams working to build state ESS plans and incorporate early warning systems to address chronic absenteeism. The virtual convening will take place April 3rd and 4th. And to join the center mailing list or apply for coaching, support, or to learn about the webinars, please visit the link on the screen.
Our goal for today's webinar is to explore the steps that are needed to create a balanced school-wide attendance plan that includes a system of tiered interventions that help us to be sure that we give the right intervention to the right student at the right time. Each school in the My Brother's Keeper initiative has either the school principal or a designated coordinator that works to accomplish several steps. 1, they work with school staff and community partners to identify what resources might be available. They support the implementation of success mentors and the matching of mentors with mentees. They work with school staff and leaders to create a school-wide attendance plan. And they analyze data at weekly student success meetings to determine when and where new interventions are needed. Today, we'll talk about how resource mapping helps individuals that work on the MBK Success Mentor team in a variety of roles. It helps us to know what supports are available, how to access the support, who manages the supports, and how one can help efficiently and effectively ensure that the right students are receiving the right support.
The tiered intervention approach is built off the public health model, aimed at combining preventative and reactive approaches in order to meet student needs.
So what is a tiered approach to attendance? You'll notice it looks like a pyramid. At the base of the pyramid is our whole school or Tier 1 level. These are supports that are aimed at keeping all students engaged in school and on track. School-wide programs are aimed at preventing 75% or more of the students from developing a chronic absenteeism indicator. As we move up the pyramid, at Tier 2, we are looking at interventions that are designed for a small group of students who are exhibiting some attendance indicators. We'll talk about targeted intervention for these students later in the webinar. At the Tier 3 level, we are looking at intensive needs, and these efforts are most likely going to involve specialists, counselors, social workers, our interagency supports when absenteeism.
Schools, teachers, and community have a big role to play in reversing students' academic and social disengagement and encourages every student to attend every day. What drives students to attend, focus, and try? Programming that compels students to come to school and a supportive and welcome environment that promotes connectiveness.
Thanks, Jeff. That supportive and welcoming environment is what comprises our Tier 1 school-wide attendance initiatives. We're looking at things that build a positive climate. Things like whole school attendance rituals, which may be different from one building to another. Having lots of opportunities for joy, awards, celebrations, certificates, attendance rallies, having visible places in the building for our goals regarding attendance and models for good attendance, mindfulness activities, and also at many of our schools you'll see a variety of forms of morning greetings. Again, just establishing that welcoming, positive environment.
Tier 2 interventions for moderately chronically absent students, which are 10 to 20% absenteeism rate, are VIP Lounge for improving attendance, mindfulness activities, focus lists, which have students on it that are 10 to approaching 10% to 19% absent, morning phone calls, workshops, and also goals and attendance conferences.
So Jeff shared Tier 2 interventions, especially including our success mentors, at which we see that we're having strong results at the moderately chronic absenteeism level. At the Tier 3 level, we are looking at severe chronic absenteeism, students who are missing 20% or more of school. And at this level of our resource map, we are looking at building resources that include opportunities for individual case management, things like social workers, counselors, folks that have the opportunity to do home visits, individual contracts, and then some community partner interagency referrals would be at the Tier 3 level. Not particularly a good level for the Success Mentor Initiative. This slide shows a sample of what a building resource looked like. As you see across the top, we have the tiers, Tier 1 for whole school, then Tier 2, and then Tier 3 most intensive. And then underneath are sample interventions for each of those levels.
Success mentors at work. What do success mentors do? Well, mentees and mentors share a common goal for attendance. They provide wake-up calls for the mentees. They model and recognize good attendance, track attendance with mentees on a calendar. They recognize an improved effort and attendance for the mentees, and they provide feedback to mentees and families on their attendance.
Success mentors often surface causes for why students are absent from school. One category is barriers. Some of the barriers that keep our students from attending might include chronic disease, the need to care for siblings at home, unmet basic needs. We were just talking in Philadelphia about the SEPTA strike and how that need of transportation impacted attendance, trauma, not having a safe pathway to school, or schools where there may be high suspension rates. So surfacing these causes helps us to know if we do have interventions on our resource map that will provide a response.
Success mentors also surface aversions, such as lack of engaging and relevant classes, more exciting to be with peers out of school versus in school, no meaningful relationships with adults in school. These are some things that success mentors help to avoid when it comes to chronic absenteeism.
The final category of causes often surfaced by success mentors is disengagement. Things to be disengaged from school include bullying, school climate, mindsets from home, where parents may have had negative school experiences, and also academic struggles. Weekly meetings are the place where mentors or their representative have the opportunity to share some of these causes that Jeff and I just went over in the last few slides, and then work with the attendance team looking at the resource map, again, to align these causes with interventions or see that there may be a need to establish additional interventions. When we look at the matrix at this slide, we can see that what we're really hoping for is that upper right quadrant where we meet the goal of our program and have high impacts because our implementation is matching with what students need. And resource maps are a way to help us always find ourselves in that quadrant. This concludes today's webinar. Thanks for joining us.
And for those of you who have questions, please email Linda or myself at the email address on the screen.